What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Yesterday's trade call both on USD Canadian and Bitcoin ended up being absolute bangers. I really hope you guys took advantage of this because I was posting it all throughout X as well. And just a reminder, if you would like to follow along with all of the live trades that I'm doing, then make sure you follow me on X because I call things as they are happening. And yesterday was a banging success. USD Canadian hit the TP, Bitcoin hit the TP. Yesterday was a great day. And so now that puts us up to 127 out of the last 161 trades called here on YouTube publicly. And today we are hopefully going to replicate the success from yesterday. And on Bitcoin, let's kick things off on the daily chart with the fact that yesterday we got a daily close. So the decision to go short yesterday ended up being correct because even though we had a bullish daily close, like every other time frame in terms of just, how things were playing out just pointed towards the bearish direction. And ultimately it was a good call, and that was just one of those on the fly kind of decision making. But today is looking a lot more clear because we have a bearish daily bias, and obviously I don't have to mention this again, but the 1 hourly chart is also very bearish at the moment, especially with this bearish CISD. So in terms of the 1 hourly, we are now just going to look for bearish PD arrays in order to get into on a retracement. And currently we are very close to this order block right here, and besides that I don't think I see a lot of other different key levels for us to get into. It's primarily just going to be this order block and potentially this one up here. But basically, right now, as of the time that I'm recording this video, it's almost about to be 3 a.m. New York once price taps into here. And if you start seeing price break towards the downside, just like what we saw yesterday, then that is going to be your trigger. And this is when you can jump into this trade. You're going to target the previous daily lows from yesterday at 11 a.m. And the exact level is going to be just $100,000. And you have some further lows at $99,000. This would mean that if we continue to go lower, it's not going to leave a lot of room for the rest of the week to, close above on the weekly chart. Close above what? You may ask. Well, if you remember from Monday's video, I mentioned that this level right here and this level right here is it's very paramount that we do not close below these levels if we want to remain as Bitcoin bulls. Now, it is looking like there is a very high probability that we are going to close below this one. But potentially this one we can still, kind of recover it. So if this happens next week, we're going to be looking to short into this resistance. Although nothing is confirmed, a lot can happen still throughout the weekends. But for now, just understand that in terms of the higher time frame, you are looking kind of bearish. And in the lower time frame, you are looking even more bearish. Now, just to hop into the 5-minute chart, just to see if there is anything that we missed. Well, the Asia high was actually swept prior to the London session. But this was not technically the London kill zone because London kill zone starts at 2 a.m. New York. This happened between 12 to 2. So this is a bit of a false move. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up sweeping that first before we got a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Once you get that, just short it all the way down. And that's going to be the call on Bitcoin. Now, we should still take a look at what is going to be the likely timings for when this move happens. And to do that, I have to go into Forex Factory. And unfortunately, in Indonesia, the connection to Forex Factory is a bit wonky. But so today we can see that there is news at 8:30 a.m. on Canadian. Now, this also means that we are going to talk about USD Canadian because yesterday was such a banger that we should definitely consider. Or one of the beautiful things about this system that I'm showing here is that this is a strategy that can be applied to literally any single asset. As long as it has a candlestick pattern, you can use this exact system to trade it. Which is why the better news is that on November the 29th, in 22 days from now, I'm going to be hosting a free masterclass breaking down this full system for you. For free, by the way. It's a free masterclass. Make sure you click the link below to sign up. But otherwise, let's get into USD Canadian. So this was a trade yesterday. We got the CISD right around the New York kill zone and boom, price shot straight to the target. Easy peasy. What do you call that? Winner, winner, chicken dinner, whatever. I never actually played that game before. But the daily chart definitely closed bullish yesterday, which means the daily bias for today is going to be bullish. In terms of bullish daily bias, we are having a couple of PD arrays at the moment. So let me just remove all of the drawings. So this is one of the bullish PD arrays. And this is going to be the second of the bullish PD arrays, which is a further gap followed by a weak blow. So when either one of these levels gets hit, you're going to look for a bullish reaction out of it. Now specifically, ideally, you're going to want to look for a trade anywhere between 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. New York, because that is going to be the hour before news to the hour after news. Setup for today is going to be pretty straightforward. As usual, I will be posting this on X if I do decide to take a live trade. So feel free to follow me on X at _the art of crypto. But otherwise, let's talk about ETH. Let's talk about Sol, and let's put a good end to this week. So in terms of Ethereum, I'm pretty sure we're going to be closing very similarly towards with Bitcoin. That's right. That's a bearish close. Bearish close. You also have a bearish change state delivery. Actually, do you? Yes, you do have a bearish change state delivery, which means that the setup for ETH today is going to be through this bearish order block right here, as well as this bearish order block right here. So if you get rejected on either one of them, you're just going to be looking for downside. That is going to be pretty straightforward so far. Now, taking a look at Solana. Solana also ended up playing out beautifully, by the way. Check out this line, check out the array. I know this wasn't like an official call yesterday. I didn't mention anything about on Twitter yesterday, but it was a call. But anyways, yeah, bearish daily bias. You have an hourly. This is the order block that you're going to want to look for, and you're going to have this other order block that you're going to want to look for. So yeah, today you're just looking for downside continuation. This seems to be a very worthy target at 146. I'm saying that it can hit it today, but if it does, that's going to be a cue for you to just close your positions, because that's going to be a pretty large move. In terms of Ethereum, let's talk about the targets real quick as well. This is going to be target number 1 at 3240, and then the other one is going to be right here at 3060. Anyways, this was a pretty solid week. I think we've got all wins throughout this week, even though some of the days were looking a bit shaky. But we also did kind of preface this early in the week, saying that, well, this week we have basically 4 news days, and on any week where there is an abundance of news, you're going to have a really good time trading, because the probability of these exact price action concepts playing out is just going to be much higher. These types of weeks don't really come that often, but if they do, make sure you take full advantage of it. And I really hope that you guys managed to make some decent money from the calls made this week. But otherwise, guys, have a great weekend and look forward to a couple of videos that we're going to be posting throughout the weekend. I think it's going to be a huge help to you guys. Ciao, ciao.